Several conservative media outlets have filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration, State Department, alleging that they're actively trying to censor them for having government label them with information. Whether you like these websites or not, it's irrelevant. We have a constitution. The damn government can't decide what we see and what we don't see. We're not a bunch of there are some brainless children out there. Part of our American public right now really believes that, I can't look at that. I want the government to tell me that this is bad. I want the government to think for me. Let the government decide whether this is information I should read. Almost like they can't get around to critical thinking and understand, I can decide this myself, can't I?
Well, yeah, and on that note, by the way, I saw a study that came out yesterday. I think it's 1 in 5 school-age kids don't know that the Holocaust actually happened.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking about 20% of our kids don't even know that that's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
But this lawsuit, listen, I don't like any of the outlets that filed this.
No,
and I
don't
hope they
either.
win.
Of
They
course.
have to win.
It's a federalist society. I mean, we talk about their craziness all the time.
But what's happening here, and this is horrifying, and people need to understand this. Take off your blinders, because this will kill media if the government is allowed to do this. So the State Department, has this new power that was enacted, I think it was like 2017 officially.
Yes, it was.
In that first, Defense Authorization Act or whatever. They put together this office that's job is to monitor foreign propaganda. But as part of monitoring foreign propaganda, they've started slapping labels on American media outlets, saying this is misinformation. So the government is literally telling these outlets, you are misinformation, and that is not allowed.
We did a story on this. There was a woman that was making the circle all over the United States preaching about our show. You know that.
Yeah.
Attacking me that we're destroying democracy by talking about corrupt corporations. I mean, giving speeches. I got a call there. She was in California. She was of all things. She's talking to a room full of lawyers, an organization that I'm in. I know most of the folks. She puts my picture up there, and I guess she doesn't know the connection, puts my picture up there and starts talking about how we're destroying democracy by talking about corporations and we should be censored. I mean, what the hell? How have we gotten here to where you have part of the American public saying, that's okay. There's some things you shouldn't say. No, you ought to be able to say what you want to say. And then we ought to be intelligent enough to say, well, that's nonsense, or it's not nonsense. Maybe
and that's the problem is the government thinks at this point, we have to baby everybody. Everybody's so dumb that if we're not watching them every second of the day, they're all going to walk off the bridge.
Yeah, or they're going to go their safe space. I can't hear this. It's too bad. Or I can't process it.
But all of these websites, they have a right to exist. They have a right to report on what they want to report on.
And there's not one thing you and I would agree with them on. I mean, these are, right-wing websites.
Right.
There's not much we would say, we're with you on that. But they have the right to do it.
And look, a lot of people watching this are saying, but guys, they are misinformation. But
so
listen,
what?
if the government can slap it on them, then guess what? The Democrats aren't going to be in power forever.
That's right.
And we've already been slapped with a misinformation label by people.
Oh, God. We had a story pulled, what was it, on TikTok?
On TikTok, yeah.
Where we had done a story. It was created by the FDA.
Yeah.
Right? The FDA put out a warning about baby formula, a type of baby formula.
Killing
premature infants. And some jackleg that worked for the industry got them to take it down. We had to write them back and say, here it is, you idiots. This is the FDA saying it. But, that's the problem. When censorship, and these are infants dying all over the country from these probiotics. And we said, well, we ought to be able to tell that story, shouldn't we? Not only did the FDA say it was true, we have a lawsuit that has almost proven that it's completely, utterly true, and the industry's known about it for decades. But that's the risk with censorship.
Yes.
But I swear to God, you got these people, they can't think, they're almost childlike. I mean, they literally are childlike. Don't say those words, they offend me. Let me have my safe space. It's this whole snowflake mentality that puts us in a position where we're actually arguing about whether or not the government should decide what we read. We have gotten to that point.
Yeah. And people don't realize the irony of it.
No, and I think, if you're young enough, of course, I've grown up with that my whole life. This is normal, isn't it? That's almost where we are.